So first of all, I can apologize for my English. It has been erased when I learned Dutch. And the only big compliment I got from my German friends some days ago, they said to me, Reimar, you already speak English with a Dutch accent. So that was the best thing that overcame me. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to, can I just use this for okay, thank you. I want to talk about, well, the main theme, the healthy city, and the question that is printed on that box is building the future of health in a literal way, not in a figurative way. Can we actually build the future of health? Is that possible? And the frame of my presentation is about this. It is a little bit more compressed graphic like Jeroen just showed, that we talk about real exponential growth of our lifespan worldwide. It's really exponential, and it's still growing. And that's quite, it's fascinating, it's great that we're getting older. But with it come a lot of changes and shifts we have to think about. And these shifts, I illustrated like this. It's just 100 years ago that our lives looked almost like this. From 0 to about 40, we worked like a horse. And then we had another 3, 4, 5 years to suffer until we die. That was our regular life. And nowadays, this life changed completely because, I mean, at least in our Western world, we almost have the first 20 years of our lives in complete freedom. We don't have to care about anything compared to 100 years ago. Then we have this period of, again, 40 years where we self-determined become medieval slaves again and work all day long. And after that, we still have a complete life left that people before just had during the whole life. And on top of it, it's written this, till death do us part. It's a quote from my mother, because she, when she got divorced, she told me that she thinks that this till death do us part, it has been invented in the Middle Ages. And she said to me, I already went 3 times through death, so I can divorce right now. I stick to the concept. So, well, like this, you can see how much our social conditions changed. And the thing is that nowadays we don't talk about this silver revolution anymore, but it already becomes a white revolution. There's life after 80, and people are still alive. They can take their own decisions. So everything changes a lot. And with it comes a growth of complexity. And this complexity has to do with a lot of different aspects, but I pick out 3. The one is I already talk about it. It's the social aspect. People during a much longer time in their life have the possibility to lead a self-determined life. So it's really a change that started just a few years ago. Also, the situation around health changes because while getting older, all of you know that the complexity of diseases changes. We have a lot more to do with multiple diseases, mentally and physically combined. And the third aspect, and that's what I talk about as an architect and urban planner, is space. Because if we think about new concepts and the future, we don't have the flat white table anymore because everything is already built. We always talk about situations where we have to take care about the conditions and where we cannot make just a new city and just make a new concept, but we have to think about in what kind of conditions are we building. And first of all, I thought I could organize my lecture around these 3 items, but that's, let's say, the scientific way, but being a part of the creative industry, I talk about this in a chaotic way during the next sheets. So you have to watch out what I'm talking about. First thing is about space, the physical conditions, because it's about access. And one of the things we have to think about is this question about living without barriers. And it's really in the details because one of the biggest problems in the healthcare situation, if we talk about old people, is this: you fall, you break your hips, you have to get into a kind of care situation, and that was your life. And it's just about 1 or 2 centimeters we always discuss about, and it's a very Dutch discussion. And if we discuss about new projects, it is about how you can enter a house without any height difference, but keeping the water out. I mean, that's one of our most important issues we have to take care about, being an architect. But as we all know, and here we talk about the context, we will not change all these houses into this kind of situation because we will not put a gallery in front of all the channel houses in Amsterdam. So we have to think about what kind of solutions can we find for other conditions than new conditions. This barrier-free thing is something that has to do with the houses, with the buildings, but it's also about public space. Here I show you some pictures of the quarters in rural area in Brabant, in the south of the Netherlands. And here we reinterpreted this very typical Brabant situation that you have brick houses and brick streets from facade to facade, just separated by stone. And usually there's a height difference between these two. But when we reinforced this two quarters, we have these two projects with about 200 houses. We also reinvented the structure of this rural area, but in a completely barrier-free way. And I was called this let's say a rolling society, because this is not only for the old people who depend on a wheelchair, but also for skating people, for children with the bags for parents with children and so on. So it's something we have to change our built environment by thinking about barrier-free spaces. This is about access, but the situation about healthcare and elderly people is also about affordability. And I want to show you an example to illustrate that our influence on building the future of health is also about the affordability of healthcare costs. This is a building for old people with dementia in the rural area. It's in Friesland, here in the north. And it was a house for elderly we built, where we thought about how could we make it in a way that it fits to the situation of the people living in the surrounding, and how can we also make a building that influences the future of the place and the building itself. And in this building, and with a few other healthcare buildings, we try to find out in what parts of the building the money is used. And what I want to show you is this. In the healthcare buildings, like in a lot of other buildings, you have to develop and you have to build them. And if you put that on 100, so let's say this building I just showed you, we built it for 100, and you compare it to the costs that go through this building for energy and maintenance during the lifetime of this building, it is 500. So you spend 5 times the money of the building cost during the lifetime of that building. But what is even more shocking, if you know the numbers for the activities, for the stuff, for the use that is made of the building, in this healthcare situation, if you compare it to the building costs, I don't know if anyone of you has an idea about the relation, it is 20,000. It's 200 times the building cost that is going through the building. And I, as an architect, I am fucking talking about, can I make 101? Or can we make it a 99? But we should discuss about 10,000, 20,000. That's the discussion. So, and with this building, we did an evaluation and we looked at it afterwards for a lot of years. And what was very interesting, we introduced a little better building in terms of the energy, which made it possible to reduce the amount of energy. And it made a reduction in the maintenance and energy costs of 2%. And we discussed with the organization how to reduce the amount of care and make a building where the people who have dementia can live a more self-determined life. And we really know from the numbers from this business case that we could reduce the costs for activities and stuff by 0.45%, which sounds not very much, but we're in a university building, so I hope you all can calculate very quickly, because if you add this, yeah, do you get it? It's 100. So with doing very, very small interventions, these people have the whole building for free. And think about this. I mean, think about what influence you could have if you really could influence at this point what is happening on the backside of the building during the use. So I think this for me is very important to know, because then you can start having influence. So what I what I want to talk about is how can we do the influence? It's about continuity. One of the most important things in the life when people are getting old is this moment when they have to stop with a self-determined life, when they have to get into a situation where they need care and they didn't choose for it. And one could say you cannot replant or transplant an old tree, that's what we say. But I mean, in Holland we do this a lot of times. So you can discuss about how to replant and transplant people that are grown into an existing situation. And the question is, what do we have to be aware about? And we did a very small research here in the north, where we tried to find out what kind of lifestyles do we see in people who are getting old. There's this group of people older than 65 years. And you don't have to read this graphic completely, but what is interesting to see is it's a comparison of people who have a more individual lifestyle or a more lifestyle more based on community, sharing things, and the amount of dependency on care. So if you're not or if you are dependent on care. And what is interesting about this graphic is that the biggest amount of people lives a very individual life independently of care, while we discuss all the time about this kind of things, very buildings that are based on a community-based living for people who depend on care. And the next thing what is very interesting is that you see a big spread. So there's a big difference in the need and in the lifestyle of people. To me, you can explain it like this. I mean, if you lead a self-determined life like you like to, and this is a self-determined life, and once we talk about houses for elderly, we talk about care-determined lives. And there can be no bigger contradiction between, imagine you are this, and the next thing you have to do is this. You have to sit together and eat your meal. I always think when the day I have to get into this situation, I will spontaneously get dementia. But, well, sorry for that. So the question is, how can we build and how can we make environments for people who are getting old? And the difference, of course, are not always so extreme, but they are very often also in very small details. These are some old people in the same village. Two of them, they are sitting in the front of the house and they have a lot of contact with other people. And this guy, he always takes the bike and goes out to the bushes, and he's not interested in any contact at all. So, well, I think it's not up to us to judge about it, but it's up to us to think about it. And what we're interested in is, can a built environment provide a certain way of use? And we did a small research to the city of Rotterdam, where we, on different scales, compared the environments we found. And what we found out is that the biggest part of the city provides really an urban life. And it's what you see in this red and this green zones. We have building structures where you can meet, where you can see your neighbors, but you're not forced to see them. You don't depend on contact with other people. That's what you see often in cities. There are only two yellow spots in it, and the one is the famous Le Midi project, which is a very a project where people really live together, and a healthcare building. So the healthcare building is a building where you have to live together. You go through the same front door, you eat together, so you depend on your neighbors. And that's what we see all the time. This is a more detailed part of Rotterdam where you see an area where you can live in a really urban way. And there are two buildings, the healthcare building, buildings that are really community buildings. And we had the commission to redevelop this building. And we said, well, let's stick to the context. Let's bring back the way this city is made, and let's think about how to also program this building so it fits better to the surroundings, because all the people who will live here when they're old, they live in the surroundings right now. So this is what the project will be. It's a project where we change the situation into a new house for people getting old. Where they can live in the city of Rotterdam. It's next to the central station. To finish this presentation, I want to show you a last example. It's about the integration of homes for elderly, let's say care-proof neighborhoods. Can we make them or not? And I show you a project which is in Tilburg. It's in the south of the Netherlands. It's a neighborhood with 200 homes. 100 of them are social homes, and they were from the 1940s, and they had to be demolished because they were old. The people who were living there, they couldn't climb the stairs anymore. So the dwelling corporation asked us to make a reinforcement plan of this whole area, and Before it looked like this. This is the whole neighborhood. And this part has been demolished and has been rebuilt. And if you look at it carefully, you see that it has almost the same layout after the intervention. You see a neighborhood with a center plaza, which has been brought back, and a kind of central building in it with low-rise buildings around it. So the neighborhood has been reinvented in the way it was before. And it was because in this quarter lived families for generations together. The young people took care for the old people. It's this ideal situation we don't believe we have anymore in the cities. It was here really like this. There were 4 families who lived together in this whole area. And they also lived next to each other. So the children lived next to the parents. And they asked us, can you reinvent this quarter so we can stay at our old address and also stay next to our parents so we can take care about them? And what we did is because this is also about affordability, this is about social housing, this is not about luxury housing, we thought, can we redevelop this whole quarter with only 3 topologies? And can we, by doing so, and these are some pictures of this quarter, can we make this like 4, these are 3 or 4 bricks we are making, and we combine them in a way, we get a new quarter. And what we did is there's an apartment building which is, well, I call it 100% care-proof, so if you really get old, you can get care if you like to. And there are a few buildings we used at the corner of the building blocks, which are like patio houses where you just live on one level. And next to it, we have these very typical Dutch row houses with stairs in it that you can adjust later if you like to. So by doing so, we made it possible to have a kind of a differentiation of buildings where you can stay when you're old, and you also can stay in houses where next to it someone else can live who can take care for you. And well, this project is now finished. It looks like this. It's a project where we integrated this idea of reducing the care costs by giving people the chance to take care for themselves. We also integrated in it the business case of energy. These are energy zero homes for social homes, which also have been built for social prices. So the energy bill of the people is also used as part of making this possible. And what was quite nice is because we designed this the structure based on the old structure, we developed together with the building companies a process where to all the people was guaranteed that they only had to leave their house for 25 days. And because what they did, usually a building company, they like to put a fence around this kind of place, and they want to have one big building site, and then it takes you 1.5, 2 years until it's finished, and all the people are gone. And here we did the opposite. The houses are demolished one by one and rebuilt one by one. So what you see here really happened. Here, somebody is still living in the house, and here it is demolished. Here they put the foundation in it. Here's the building built. Here are some bricks put, and here's somebody living again. And it took them only 25 days, and it was very cool. It really happened. The people, they stepped with the key of their house out of the house at day 1, and at day 25, they returned at the same address with the key of their new house, with tiles on it, with a bathroom in it, and so on and so on. And the very cool thing about it is that we saved a lot of money by doing so, because all the people, they just went to their parents for 2 weeks, and they came back in a new house. What was also very nice is usually they told to the contractor, if you go into that quarter, you will lose about 1 house on materials because they steal all the material. And the nice thing is there was not a single brick stolen because all the people lived around and they took care that nobody will steal their houses that are built for them. So there was a kind of extra social aspect in this building process, what I like very much. And well, this is about trying to make future-proof neighborhoods. And I also think by doing so, you also think about how you can really build a future of health, although we cannot influence the health of the people directly, but we can give the surroundings and the right circumstances to live in neighborhoods that are health-proof for the future. Thank you very much.